And his father-in-law is beautiful, wonderful. Don, yeah, he's so sweet. Is everybody ready? Okay, am I on? I think so.
Yep.
I'd like to call to order the Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Agency for Tuesday, September 15, 2015 at 7 p.m. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Spinsky,
Here.
Joe Albert, absent. Robert Chagnon,
Here.
Jane Smith, here, present. Elizabeth Davis,
Here.
John Hayes, also absent. Joseph Perello, and also absent, and Kevin Zorda.
Here.
Okay, fire evacuation announcement. In case of fire, there are two ways to exit the Enfield room. Through both the doors. Walk to the nearest building door exit and out of the building. Once out of the building, walk a safe distance away from the building. Okay, that's good. Okay, Pledge of Allegiance. We have that. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we move on, we'd like to get a motion to appoint Ginny from section 12.1 in our regulations back to our committee.
I'll make a motion to appoint Ginny Higley to the, as our liaison for the inland wetlands meeting, or pardon me, agency, under section 12.1 of the regulations.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Great, thank you. Could you read the regulation?
Oh, sorry, I'll read the regulation. The agency may delegate its duly authorized agent the authority to approve or extend a license for an activity that is not located in a wetland or watercourse when such agent finds that the conduct of such activity would result in no greater than a minimal impact on any wetlands or watercourses, provided such agent has completed the comprehensive training program developed by the Commissioner of Environmental Protection pursuant to Section 22A-39 of the Connecticut General Statutes. Requests for such approval shall be made on a form provided by the agency and shall contain the information listed under Section 7.5 of these regulations and any other information the agency may reasonably require. Notwithstanding the provisions for receipt and processing applications prescribed in Sections 8, 9, and 11 of these regulations, such agent may approve or extend such an activity at any time.
Thank you. Do you need a roll call? Yeah, might as well do a roll call.
Roll call? All right. Donna?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes from me. Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to also see if we can get a motion to move items 12 and 13, old business and new business, up to after item 7, public participation.
So move.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Hmm?
Looks good. Next on the agenda is executive session. We have none, as far as I know. This is not a public hearing. Public participation for issues of not concern that are not on the agenda. Do we have anything? No. So next would be old business, which is XIW 15-08 Orlando Drive Culvert over Beeman's Brook, Town of Enfield, owner applicant. The town isn't here. We did discuss this briefly at our last meeting. We didn't have quorum, but we did review it. And I hope everybody was able, that could not attend, was able to review the meeting minutes and then watch the videos so we could act on it. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll just comment that I wasn't here at the meeting last week, but I did review the video and the minutes and the plans, and everything seems to be on board, and I think everything was covered from Commissioner Bebo's presentation last week.
Any other comments or discussion?
I've actually done the same thing, so I didn't see anything that would stand in the way of not doing
Okay.
Do we have a motion then?
I'll make a motion to approve Inland Wetlands XIW number 15-08 Orlando Drive Culvert over Beeman's Brook, Town of Enfield, owner applicant.
Second.
it. Second.
Roll call, please.
Donna?
Yes.
Robert?
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 Yes.
Robert's right. Yes
to
for
speak
me.
up, I'm deaf.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay, all, 4 passes, all in favor, passed. Next on the agenda would be item 13, which we moved up as new business. Inland Wetlands number 567, the Martin Brower Company, installation of generator located at 191 Moody Road, map 100, lot 35, Choriano Realty Corporation owner, the Martin Brower Company LLC applicant. Gentlemen, if you could please come forward, state your name and we do have a mic there.
It'll need to be turned on then.
All right, good evening. My name is Steve D'Ambrosio. I'm a professional engineer with GZAGU Environmental. I'm here tonight with Tom Ormsby from Martin Brower. That's the applicant. I'm sorry?
Can't hear?
Can't hear.
You need me to speak up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Sorry.
Figure with the microphone it was amplified, but that's just for recording, correct?
To
Yeah.
Gotcha.
understand that
Gotcha.
I have almost no hearing in my left ear.
Okay, I'll make sure to shout.
Thank you.
I'm also here with Chris Attia from Tower Generator. That's the contractor on the project. Martin Brower is proposing to install a 750 kilowatt diesel standby generator at their facility at 191 Moody Road. The subject property is 11.2 acres. It's located about 4/10 of a mile west of the Moody Road, Taylor Road intersection. The entire property is located in the Industrial 1 zoning district. The nearest residential district is approximately 1/3 of a mile to the east. So this is in a very industrial setting. The current facility, which is shown in this color here, the beige color, it's approximately 109,000 square foot distribution and office space with associated There are wetland resource areas located to the north and east. We're proposing to install the standby generator entirely within the existing pavement, so we're not proposing any additional impact to resource area. The site of the generator is within 100 feet of the resource area, and I'm going to flip the plan to show you where it is that we're looking to install that generator. Thank you. Technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
So the generator is approximately 29 feet long by 10 feet wide. We're looking to install it within this paved area here. And the first thing that we'll be doing once construction starts, if this project does proceed through permitting, is to install some sediment erosion control. We're looking to put some hay bale silt fence in the grassed area, upgrading of the curb, and then any of the catch basins that are directly downstream of the work area. We'd put some type of insert in there to collect any of the sediment that may drain into that. The next thing would be to saw cut the pavement. We're looking to saw cut a 2-foot wide trench for electrical conduit to go from the generator to the connection in the building. The pad for the generator is just going to be a little bit larger than the generator itself. So the concrete pad will be installed afterwards. The generator placed, and then bollards, protective bollards, will go around the generator. And really, the only other thing that we'd like to add is the tank, the capacity of the fuel tank for the generator is 1,300 gallons. There is a separate tank exterior to the fuel tank for redundancy purposes, and that storage volume is 1,470 gallons. So if the fuel tank were to rupture for some reason, there's redundancy. The fuel empty into the other tank and be kept within. So there shouldn't be any issue with diesel fuel getting into the storm drain, which would then get into the detention system here and then ultimately to the wetland. So we're trying to make sure that we do our due diligence and make sure that that doesn't happen. because I know that would be one of the main concerns of the commission. But really, we'd like to open it up to any questions. We do have some pictures, actually, to give you an idea of what the generator will look like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that is the actual generator, and it's on site currently. The last two pictures, I believe, show the area, or at least the grassed area adjacent to where we're looking to install this generator. Right now, it's in the slot just east of where we're proposing it.
I have a quick question. So just to clarify, it's not a double-walled tank, it's actually two tanks?
Correct.
Yeah. And so both those two tanks are within the structure?
Correct.
Okay. That's really the only question I had looking at the plan, was what the secondary containment that was going to be, that being so close to the water. So aside from that, I mean, having that secondary containment is certainly sufficient for the volume, so.
My only concern would be during fueling, what would contain if there was a spill during fueling?
Say that again?
During fueling, when you're refueling the tanks, if there was a spill during that, what would contain that from going into the storm drain?
So I guess, I'm Chris Attia with Tower Generator. I'm Chris Attia with Tower Generator. We're the installing contractor for this standby generator set for Martin Brower. Typically, when a tank is filled, it's filled with an operator going into a tank with a fuel gauge. And unless this guy has a heart attack or something,
Okay.
he does it every day, filling oil tanks in homes with 275-gallon tanks. If there was spillage, there is an area on top of the tank. How much could that hold? I couldn't tell you. I can tell you that the housing has sides to it. So you'd have what I would consider to be a contained mess
Okay,
underneath the generator set itself, but on top of the tank.
okay. Great, thank you.
And then presumably they would all come with, he'd have spill pads and
Spill
booms on his,
containment kits.
containment kits on his truck anyway, so that would be, your immediate first response.
Yes.
Right.
We have them on site because we already have fueling there.
Well, and then you guys
100
have
feet
one side as
away,
well, yeah.
with a large above-ground storage tank that
Okay.
folks approved several years ago. So
Super.
there's spill containment, we have containment material right there, a mishap or whatever.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, sounds good. Do we have any other questions or concerns? Does anybody want to make a motion?
Sure. I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve inland wetlands IW number 567, the Martin Brower Company installation of generator located at 191 Moody Road, map 100, lot 35. Triano Reality Corp. owner and the Martin Brower Company applicant.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Can we have roll call, please?
Donna?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes from me. Elizabeth?
Yes.
And John? No one can.
Good. We have 4 approved, none against, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
gentlemen.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you. So next on our agenda would be correspondence. Do you have any?
You should have all the correspondence from in your last packet. This packet was a little small.
Right.
It was concise.
It was.
Yes. The only thing I wanted to mention while I'm thinking of it is, you all have this in front of you. And if you, it can be evolving. In other words, this is a starting point. You can change it, modify it, stop using it, however you want to do it. But you'll notice that the last one should be Martin Brower. You might want to assign someone to it so that, you know, you start getting out in the field more and seeing what's going on and just bringing back comments to the group.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
I'll just say for the record, so that it's on, for people watching at home or later, that there's, Ginny is talking about a list of the current applications that the Inland Wetlands has before them.
Thank you.
Getting better at this.
Yes, yes,
It's doing
yes.
good, yeah. Yeah, so these are all our current open ones?
Yes.
Okay. I think that sounds like a great plan. Does anybody want to volunteer to take on Martin Brower?
I can take on Martin, since I'm retired, I can pretty much.
Oh, you could do them all then.
I wouldn't volunteer to do them all, but I will take the bulk of them simply because I do have the time to do it. So, you know, just, so
We
we
need
want
to have
Martin
two
Brower.
people going to each of these?
Well, it wouldn't hurt. You don't have to go together, but if two people want to familiarize themselves,
Right.
you know, Bob could be the point person, but other people could be assigned so that everybody gets a chance at looking at how things are being
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do also Cartier Road.
Cartier Road?
Yeah.
That's Mr.
Okay.
Friend.
Cool.
Does anybody else want to do Martin Brower? Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. Kevin?
Kevin?
You can
And-
put me on Orlando Drive as well, if you like.
Let me see, where's that one? Where's Orlando?
Beeman's Brook.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, no, it's
No,
not.
that's Orbit.
It's on the first page.
First page.
First page.
Oh, here it is.
Yes. it's
508, yeah,
Yes.
15 dash, oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Which one?
Kevin.
Also,
It says
I
or-
can do AAA 113.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, I'm not that
Oh,
close.
I'm on the front page
Oh,
at
you're
the
on the front
bottom.
page, that's
At the
fine.
bottom, 18 Standish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, which one are we doing?
I'll take
Yeah.
560.02, the Shaker Road, that's our wonderful invasive species project.
Oh,
yeah.
And I'll take that also.
You'll be a good one for
Jane
that.
and Liz, okay.
And since I go right by it pretty much every single day, I'll do the 126 Hazard because right now nothing's happening there.
They are going back before planning and zoning,
Okay.
so it's going to be a while, but we'll put your name down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to hold on to these so that if anybody forgets who's doing what, they'll have it.
Well,
And-
yeah, I've got that, yeah.
Yep, periodically, we'll update this and,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
when things come off, we'll take them off.
I can
What-
do
Is everything covered?
Not
8
yet.
Guild Street? Is that-
8 Guild.
Is that a-
Okay. Donna's doing 8 Guild.
do we need-
Oh, that's the new one. Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to go on Crescent Lake. I know it's a big
Sure.
project,
Yep.
but
Okay. Okay,
I'll
so,
look at Crescent Lake too.
good.
That one, that's
Okay.
the stormwater, that's John Felibo's, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. That's definitely my
And we
wheelhouse.
probably want
Yes.
to leave some for the rest of the committee.
Yes.
Yeah, we can leave some for the
Because we get,
committees.
everybody's not present today.
Yeah.
If we-
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is a good
This is a good
start,
start.
and I
Good.
appreciate your kind of chiming in. And as I said, once you go out and start looking at these, if you find that there might be a better way to report, feel free. Just give me an email and
Sure.
we'll see what we can do.
One thing I suggest adding into this the next time you print it out is the construction start date.
Oh, yes, that'd be
Yeah.
helpful.
yes.
Yes.
Because like, for instance, specifically, you know, looking at the Crescent Lake area, they just got that approved, so,
Yep,
you know, so we can see a track of when they're starting, because it'd make more sense for us to go out there after they've started
Yeah.
to make sure they're following what they're supposed to be doing.
okay, I'll see what I can do on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
Well, I think that's part of our regulations, is it not, that
They're
they're
supposed to-
supposed to be, it's one of the standard
Yes, they're
requirements that they're
supposed to let us
call.
know, and I will
What the
remind
dates are.
everyone.
Yeah, I know that it's not something that's happening by the applicants,
Yes,
but.
yes,
Yeah.
we will,
They
we will
need to
see
be
if we can-
reminded that they,
Yeah.
see what we can do about working on that.
Okay.
Okay.
One of the handouts we did get last meeting, I should say, was regarding the annual meeting on Saturday, November 14th, and there was an application attached. If you wanted to go, you need to fill out the application and return it to Jenny. So you can take a look at it and send it in. It's at the Villa Capri Banquet Facility, Saturday, November 14th. They have some classes to attend. They're usually pretty good to go to, so if you want to go, just make sure you get your application in.
Liz and I went, I think that's the one that Liz and I went to last year. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Some good speakers. I mean, you have to choose which.
Yeah, please
When
make
you go
sure
to-
to get it in as quickly as possible, because Barb needs to do all the paperwork for it to get you taken care of.
That's your copy.
We also had last time was a handout for the, what are these, our bylaws. So we could take a look through them. We thought we would go through them and maybe mark them up and make some suggested changes, if anybody had any. So if you want to go through them. We could do that at one of our meetings. Now, do we want to do a special meeting, or a workshop type meeting, or?
Probably a workshop. I don't think you would need a recording secretary or televised, but I don't know, that's not my bailiwick. I don't think that there's anything next to the first meeting, we have nothing to be accepted, but I think that it's too soon
To make a
to
decision.
have a working
Right.
meeting. What I had suggested at the last meeting was everybody keep them, and then, like, look at them and make any changes or any suggestions, what works, what doesn't work, as you see the meeting unfolding. And then I would urge you to have a meeting. So
Maybe
you
November
can-
sometime?
Well, I think that you have to change your bylaws when you have your elections on the even year. I think it's September. I might be speaking out of turn because I've looked at a lot of bylaws lately. But I think in between now and when you have your organizational meeting, you should have at least one. So please, if for some reason you lose your bylaws, they are online, but if you can't find them, tell me, I'll get you another copy. Okay?
Sounds good. Let's see, what else do we have? She also, we handed out, there was a listing of all the applications. And that was starting with September '07.
Yep, and that was,
Quite a few pages.
yep, that was
And it was great, thank you very much, Barbara. So it shows all the applications that we have, and if you had any questions on them, or went through them, we have those as well. We also had, my favorite property. On 146 South Road, the old Turner Nursery Building, she gave us some updated information and paperwork and pictures and things to look at. From what I understand, they will be coming back before us,
There's a good chance they will be coming back.
because they need to make some changes. I do notice that they park trucks and equipment and material back in the woods, which is inlands and wetlands, definitely on the maps. So I think they definitely need to come back before us, so we can, talk to them. Be a good thing.
It's my understanding they're coming before planning and zoning because they have a number of modifications they want to do. So before they can do that, they would need to come into wetlands. So that's my understanding of how it
Okay,
works.
that's good. She also left us on her desk today is a plan. Okay, so we'll see it. Just for purposes. We also had the Habitat, which is a great document from summer of 2015. They have great articles on it. It's always a good read. The aquatic control technology was dated October 7th. It tells us about the pesticide applications. It's just informational for us. The packets. We also had the list of contaminated or potentially contaminated sites. And is that just our town or is this? I can't remember. Yeah, it's our town of Enfield. So this is always something good to have, to look at if an application comes. So those were our handouts from the last meeting.
just two things quickly.
Mhm.
Attached to the Tarno was also the Mayfield
Oh,
mediation. It showed the walking trail and that type of thing, so I thought you would be interested if any of you want to go out. You know, it's interesting. I was there when they moved all the plants. And I did find, I was doing some research, and I did find on the state DEEP site, they have a list of all the contaminated gas stations, you know, the tanks.
Okay.
They don't show that it's finished, but they do show if it's been logged in.
Okay.
that's good, thank you. We did have some follow-ups that we had requested, and Jenny updated us a little bit, so we could do it again, I guess. Before the last meeting in August, we had 20 Howard Street, it's a deck, a 16 by 16 deck off the kitchen. An email was sent to us, they asked us if they needed an application or whatever. I went out and reviewed the property and said it was okay to go ahead without an application, you know, or coming in before us. It was going to be agent approval. We also had 935 Enfield Street. They want to demolish a building. It's across from High Street in the back. In the back. It sits right on the edge of a brook, and it's definitely falling down. So they asked for if they needed approval for that in an application. We also gave that administrative approval. It's definitely a need. It's going to be falling down.
Yeah.
I can give an update on that.
Oh, good.
They did it on a Saturday because of the reduction in the amount of traffic in the site. And it was a shed with no utilities. I drove, they put the silt fence up. I told them I wanted to know when they were doing it, so I drove over there, and it's done, and they did a very good job.
Okay, good.
Turner Lane, we already talked about. Crescent Lake, the dumping violations.
I'm playing telephone tag with the president of Crescent Lake. I would like to either chat with her or send her a letter extending the board's wish to have a good rapport with both lakes. And I wanted to send it to both lakes at the same time, just as kind of a courtesy. Any issues that they come upon, if they get in touch with us quickly, we can just get right out there with them, go over it, and see what the problem is.
Good idea.
She has not responded
Okay.
yet, but I'm sure she will. If not, I'll
Okay.
just send the letters out anyway.
So we're not hearing more complaints on about the gentleman.
No?
Good. On June 17th, we asked Jenny to send out to Barry Crock from Eversource regarding the tree trimming and removal of trees. He did send back an email stating the statutes in the Connecticut statutes that allows them to do what they did without having to come before us every time. And those were in our packets.
But he did also say that they, as a courtesy, they meet with each town at least once a year. They met with Enfield last December. It's usually the tree warden and maybe somebody else from the highway department. That excludes any storm damage or anything like that. It's on my list to send him a letter requesting a copy of the list, or however he brings it to the town, so that you can have it. That way you'll know if there's anything in wetlands.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay?
That'd be great. The update on the Mayfield property.
That has the mediation, I'm sorry. I went out, the section that needed a CO is the furthest away from one of the furthest away from it. It is not in wetlands, so it didn't pertain, but it did get CO'd and it was okay.
Okay, so they're good now?
Mm-hmm.
The gas station, the mobile gas station on the corner of Hazard Avenue, Middle Road.
Okay.
Are they doing anything yet?
They took the tanks out a while ago.
Yeah.
And now it's for sale or lease or rent. Not that, this doesn't pertain to wetlands, but just as a little background, it was a legal non-conforming use. Once the use stopped, it's very hard to go back to it. Probably they could make a case in zoning, not necessarily wetlands, but in zoning that it was a gas station, could be a gas station. But the only things I've been asked about for wetlands is a Jiffy Lube and something else, some type of a Jiffy Lube type business. And I told them that once they tear once the structure goes away, it has to adhere to current regulations. So it would have to adhere to current wetlands, and it would have to adhere to current zoning. And I'm pretty sure, not that you oversee aquifer, but I think there's a tip of the property is also an aquifer. So chances of it being anything detrimental to the wetlands is not great, and they would have to come to you anyway. Okay?
Just one more. Oh, Scannick River.
Oh, thank you, yes. That was the day of the last meeting.
Correct.
And I'm sure you all saw it in the paper, but I did go down and ask a few people about it. It was a well-attended meeting. The state listened intently to all the concerns. Several suggestions were made, such as limiting the amount of people, it is a state park, but limiting the amount of people that are allowed in, charging an admission. Nothing was resolved, nothing was decided. They just thanked everybody for all their suggestions, and I'm sure there will be many more meetings. It is getting a lot of use, and that's, kind of between a rock and a hard place, literally. If you want people to enjoy state land, then they have to be able to get to it. And if they get to it, they sometimes are not as careful with the land as they could be. So it's kind of a catch-22. But at least they're open to suggestions. The state doesn't want to, there was some talk at one time about the town taking it back, but no. So if anything happens, I will let you know.
Okay.
At least the state painted over bad language that somebody had painted all over the trees on that path.
Oh.
Yeah, we on that path quite a bit. One day I was there with my 4-year-old and my 6-year-old. Yeah, don't look at that tree.
Yeah, Labor Day.
The last time we were there this summer, they painted over it, so at least they're somewhat maintaining it. But yeah, over the years, it's been getting awful.
Yeah, Labor Day was crazy with all the
junk that people are leaving there. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just.
I think the town, a lot of volunteers went in and
Yep.
really
Yes.
cleaned it up. And again, it's not, well, it is kind of your purview because it's a body of water, but,
Yeah, it's kind of not really ours.
yeah.
But we wanted to know about it anyway.
Oh, no.
As residents.
As residents too, yes. Mr. Albert couldn't make it today, and he asked me to bring up that on Bacon Road, so if you're going down North Maple, you take a right onto Bacon, and on the right, near Hallmark, sort of, there's a lot where there's a lot of lumber and wood chips kind of piled up, and there's a vacant lot next door to it. And he thinks there's history on that property from before, with they had issues with and stuff. I'm not sure where the property is.
If you're going down North Maple Street and you take a right onto Bacon,
Yeah,
isn't Hallmark on the left?
Yeah.
yeah. But I think the
Further
land
up
and
is the
properties
fire
are the.
department.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But the property's
Okay,
on the right.
I misunderstood,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll see what I can.
In that area. I guess you would see
yeah.
the wood chips and the lumber.
All right,
and-
I talked to Joe this morning, but he didn't mention it, but I will, if I have any questions, I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I think later on when I was able to talk to
Yeah.
him.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I had at the moment. Does anybody have any updates or questions or concerns? Okay. Next on the agenda is approval of minutes from July 21st and September 1st. Do we have any motions?
I move the approval of the minutes of July 21st, 2015 and 2000, September 1st, 2015.
When it's at?
One at a time? Okay. July 21st, 2015.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have roll call?
Donna?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes for me, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm on the phone.
So we have minutes from September 1st. We have a motion?
Move that the minutes of September 1st, 2015 be approved as sent.
Second.
Roll call.
Donna?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Yes from me and Elizabeth.
Yes.
Okay, both minutes passed, thank you. Do we have any reports from the officers, committee, staff? Anything to add? No? We don't, any applications to be received?
No?
No. Okay. Just for now, we do have a folder here that we want to look at for those conditions to make sure they made it on the plans. 300 Parker, Shaker? Shaker. Right. So we'll look at that after.
So these are revised ones since we sent that letter out?
Yeah. Thank you. After that, is there any, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Move to
adjourn.
Okay.
All right, who first that, who second that?
Motion
Second.
second.
Are you guys gonna fight on this?
We never fight.
Okay.
Okay, motion passes.
Jane.
Yeah, Bob?